strong power pick for them to be able to potentially flex.
I think the Adagio is actually targeted at Old School because that's the pick he showed yesterday. So I think they want to take him or take that pick away from him so that he's not as comfortable on.
Yeah, we know Rect's amazing at Lyra, though. I mean, he gets that instantaneously locked in. I mean, Rect is good on pretty much everything, but he picks up the Lyra. That's a great start for him. The response from Hack is going to be the Lance and the Sky, however. Interesting first phase of the draft for them. Fuji, Iraqi, what are your thoughts? Where do where do Gankstars respond, given this?
I think Rect is going to perform on Lyra incredibly. It's one of the picks that he's been preparing for a very long time. He feels very comfortable on it. He can apply very heavy lane pressure. Something I'm actually interested, I want to see if he's going to pick up a Storm Guard on that Lyra, if he's going to go Storm Crown, because I feel like, I know that that's a strategy they have prepared. So let's see if they're going to do it here. The Sky coming out of Hack, I think that's going to be easily abusable with the Lyra. Sky doesn't have a very strong early game laning phase, so we'll see what type of pressure they're able to put on the lane.
And we get the Glaive and the Samuel locked in, which means it's likely going to be Samuel going into the lane here, and Glaive for Status in the jungle. We know Status is a great Glaive player. This seems like a nice solid draft coming out from Sirius. And Hack are looking to respond in their final phase. Where do you think this is going to go, Fuji? They're hovering Saw.
They are hovering Saw. I mean, it is a potential pick, but they're not going to go with it. So Gwen coming through is actually an interesting completion for them because she is able to do a lot of zone control. I love Youngju on the Sky in the jungle. This is one of his priority pick heroes, so very comfortable for him.
Too much out of it. They're going to keep Rect and Status just kind of roaming at this point, but remember, they've left the lane already. How far did that get pushed up? How much are they going to be sacrificing for whatever they got out of this?
Right, I mean, Dada was able to push up the lane. Gwen with the box shot Bonanza can push that lane pretty quickly anyway, so isn't actually going to lose too much farm up there. One sort of pick here I really want to focus on is that laning phase. Samuel into Gwen. Looks like it's going to be a weapon power Gwen. How do you feel that matchup really goes, Forecourt?
Well, by the end of it, I mean, it's boom sticks, it's auto attacks, and then that's good out of it. It can be really hard to just shut her down. So if she has a really good early game, could be a nice snowball.
Good impale onto Rect. Gythian wall into that little bush as well, but won't be able to chase him out. Once again, Hack taking the two-man squad into the Sirius jungle, trying to force them back. And actually, Rect stole away the tree ant there, so Sirius consolidating a little bit on that gold. Hack are not done yet.
Yeah, they're really trying to use this lance, but they're going to go 0 for 2 on the tree ants, maybe even lose a life here.
Yeah, Old School's coming down. Youngju now knocked into the wall. Status looking for the kill. Sense plays left his Sky for dead. And Gankstars Sirius take first blood.
Hack's early aggression, it does not get any of the steals, only got one of that back, lost out the life, it's not the end of the world. Even Old School now putting a lot of pressure here up against Data, but he knew that Sense play was going to be around. With that Gythian wall, there's just no follow-up here from Data, so Old School will at least survive for now, but Sense play, I feel like a lot of this early pressure is going to just be revolving about where he goes.
Yeah, a lot of it as well is if you're going to impale onto a camp, you have to steal it, especially if it's a tree ant, because otherwise you put yourself in an awful situation. And we saw Hack getting caught out, and immediately Sirius say, whatever you can do, we can do better. We're going to get right on into your jungle and steal away your backs.
It will be Data with the weapon confirmed because we got I Love Youngju. He's now going to go into the double crystal bit. So the double weapon just to help out early farm. Now with the double crystal, and just like what the analyst said, you're going to need that last hit potential. You're going to need to try to scale this mid to late game, at least for this Gwen. They got to survive the Gank Squad's crew.
There is the Gank Squad. Dada's dead. Sirius take their second blood, and there was just no escape. Status showing up on this Glaive.
And that's what they should be doing. Rinse, repeat. You got that Glaive, make the plays into the lane. Just go off and evade as well. You got Rect, right? The babysit's going to be real. The pushback potential.
Oh, what a steal by Rect! That Imperial Sigil was absolutely perfect.
And again, they're just kind of doing what they love at this point.
That they are, and Status once again just invading the enemy jungle. Gankstars Sirius here have kind of said, look, whatever you can do, we can do better. We're not going to adapt too much to this world's meta, which is putting so many people into the lane. And they're putting the pressure on time and time again. Even Rect is getting in on the action.
1v1 up against Data. Well, this is going down to the jungle. Like, Hack is split everywhere here.
That they are. The poke coming out from Sirius is strong. Rect has been caught up. Imperial Sigil, but here comes Status, and he will take himself another kill. And a second as well. Gankstars Sirius 5-0 up. Only 4 minutes in. They're looking for their 6th kill. Youngju's going to try and dodge his way around. Does get the lock on, but Status is locked onto his target after burn up in just 2 seconds. He'll be looking for this one. Youngju takes a bit more poke once again, and this will be him falling to Old School.
Doesn't get the train again, no regen, and well, he did his job though, right? He took them all the way back to their side of the fold. There's nothing pushing at this point. We had the respawn, so there's no ace, but it's not looking good for Hack for this early game, and NA have really been pushing that early game. I mean, Hunters yesterday, Velocity, ace after ace after ace. Now here, Gankstars, they showed up yesterday, they're showing up now.
It's something I really like actually about NA, just as
about 1.2, 1.3K ahead. So again, not the biggest mountain to climb here from Hack, but they are going to have to be just a little bit more, I feel, on their heels.
Yeah.
Stop going for the invades. That has not worked out.
Not at all. And actually, we can see Dada respecting that. He's got himself a couple of minion candies to stop this push-in by Gankstars Sirius. They understand they can't fight it at the moment, but they can delay the pressure from Sirius and make sure that they can get towards that 10, 15, 20-minute mark.
Even with the team up here, just really going a long way for the last hit. It's 45 to the 39. So again, Dada, it's not that far. He's not that far behind, like at all. Glaive, 202, 25 to the 22 and 3 deaths of Youngju. Again, you have 2 items by the time Kraken comes around. If the game is not unwinnable by then, they have a chance.
Rekt has gone Stormcrown first on Lyra. That's
bold.
incredibly bold and incredibly aggressive, and it exemplifies what Gankstars Sirius are trying to do here. They want this early poke, they want this early damage onto attack.
Yeah, and as long as they can use that to leverage, Rekt has been babysitting the lane quite a bit, right? You get that up into the lane, you got the damage, and as soon as you can clear out lane, now you're going to have that extra burst on the turrets. That could actually be a nice push mechanic for them. But without that fountain, they are really solely relying on the sigils.
That they are, that's the way they get their healing, but at the moment, Hack don't seem to have the consistent damage actually to make those sigils not enough healing. You know, they've got enough healing just through that A ability from Rekt. And I want to just focus on item spikes here as well. Old School's gone Broken Myth first. Youngju has gone Frostburn instead.
Yeah, Frostburn, I just really want to bring AJ on just all of a sudden, because this is a Sky Frostburn first.
I think it works, though, into the composition they're playing into. You're trying to force it so that Gankstars Sirius, if they ever step up and try and take the turret, they're going to take a lot more damage in response because they're slowed up. You get the buckshots coming in as well with a secondary slow. It can work out dividends.
Working on some candies here. I was curious to see if there's going to be a rotation down, perhaps to the shop, but status baked. I mean, he's already putting up that front, and Hack, they're just going to have to use those candies, not get much out of it. They did at least stop a bit of a siege, but Gankstars is ready to rumble.
This is huge. Gankstars are all at least level 6. Hack have not got a single ultimate. Now, Status caught out with the Impale. Senseplay looking for the positioning. After burn in by Status, knocks Youngju away. Status tanking up the turret. Very low already. Senseplay looking for the kill. Not going to be able to get the snipe. There was an Oblivion used as well. Arcane Passage away by Rekt. But now Senseplay and Dada are stuck on the wrong side of this wall. Githyan wall comes out. Status looking for the chase. Youngju takes the kill. Off towards the side. Status jumps in though, and he'll take one for himself. Knocked into the wall. It's up to Old School and Youngju now. It's a 1v1, and Old School wants this. He's going for Youngju with the Drifting Dart, with the double kill, and it's an ace for Gankstars Sirius.
All alone and nowhere to go. The Sky with the great flank to get that first kill, but by the end of it, like Old School, no problem. This is his jam, right? 1v1 mechanics. He will win these trades, and with that Broken Myth, everything was all stacked up. The ace buff minions take out a turret. They're probably going to get a little bit more, but this all started, right, because Glaive went up, tried to get aggressive, and this is what put Gankstars a little bit more on the defensive, but they lived long enough to make the trades. Youngju off to the side gets the first, but status big. Like, coming back into this one, he made this double happen for Old School, and in a 1v1 situation like this, I love Youngju just had nowhere to go.
Back into the Halcyon Fold for this game. It's the first of a best of 3, and already it's action-packed. I cannot wait for the rest of this series.
11 kills in 8 minutes, man. They're really setting that mile-a-minute pace here. But I'm going to take a card out of Fuji's book and say that just because you're ahead and you're still winning, it doesn't actually mean that you're going to win in general, right? You have to keep these really clean team fights, and depending on the fact that you can outplay your opponents, not that you're just farther ahead of them.
If you're Gankstars Sirius, what's your next step? You know, you just got the gold mine, you've got the turret, you've taken yourself 3,000 gold ahead at only 9 minutes in. You are in the driving seat of this game. You dictate the pace. How do you make it so that Hack cannot just turtle up underneath this turret?
Well, creating a noose, a slow dragging noose is kind of what I describe it as. But if they're able to push out this lane, take this turret, and keep Hack at their choke, it's definitely going to give them a big advantage.
Vector's being impaled, knocked into the wall again, and has actually got his fountain now as well. So with the Imperial Sigil, he'll heal himself back up. That has that extra utility in the team fight, which will help out Gankstars Sirius if they're caught unawares.
Yeah, Gankstars, they have to know that they're ahead. They probably don't know by how much, but 3,000 gold or so, I mean, call that a tier 3 item. And everybody here has done their shopping. We even even have just everything in position here for Gankstars to go forward. They have the flares, they're looking to invade, and Hack, if they're stuck by the turrets, they can't go jungle, and you're going to grow that lead here from Sirius.
That you are, and you can see that lead spreading in the CS as well. 78 on Dada to 91 on Old School, 34 on Youngju to 39 on Status. Status hasn't been the target. Oblivion comes out, Youngju does block it out with the reflex, but here comes the engage. Status trying to get onto the backline, knocks Sense Play in. Going for the Roamer first is not always the optimal strategy, but they do take him low.
Hack is already in a defensive mindset. They're just trying to dig in for the long haul here, get to that 15-20 minute mark. And already, as again, with all this aggression, Gankstars not able to find anything out of it, but they will be able to push up lane, maybe chip away at turret. You can see Status, he's being kind of like this ward. He's saying, well, they're not coming down here. There's nobody to catch out. Finally, Hack show themselves on the map, but they're going to fight under turret again.
And it's a reactionary Githian wall as well. That is a huge, impactful ability, and Dada's going to get jumped on. Status is knocked into the turret, though. He's going to fall 1 for 1 thus far, but Old School tanking this one up. Youngju's going to try and catch him out towards the side. The Imperial Sigil comes down. Old School just about alive, trying to retreat. Sense Play knocks him back. Youngju with the Suri Strike will take him down, and it's 2 to 1 in favor of Hack.
So remember all that talk about like how if there was ultimates, Gankstars going tower diving wasn't going to win. This is a very clear example of that one. I think Gankstars might be overestimating how far ahead they are, or maybe perhaps just the team play at this point, but Hack is not that far behind. I don't really feel like going under these turrets is just going to work out for them yet.
I think it's underestimating Sense Play as well, because that Githian wall is already overdriven. Status jumped in after seeing it being used and thought it's not going to be up again, but Sense Play's just like, no, slaps him away straight into the turret, and that's what cost Gankstars Sirius the fight. Although Status was able to get a kill, because Youngju was still alive, he was able to do a huge amount of work on this Crystal Sky, which is now scaling up towards that Broken Myth as well.
If Hack do win this one out, I'm just seeing that Sense Play is going to be the MVP out of this series so far, because he's just playing phenomenal. Great reactions, great setups, that has gotten now Hack those kills and just rebuffed the aggression. The gold lead is not really growing, and Hack, they're just being conveyor belt felt into a lot of these creeps. They're now getting the jungle. They might not get this gold mine, but
they're looking for it. War Treads are going to come in. Old School rooted up. Dada with the aces high gets the stun. Sirius lose a man. Status does have the afterburn to get away. Death from above locks him down though. Youngju looking for the chase. Senplay with the Githian wall after getting through the passage. Status is going to fall off towards the side, and Gankstars Sirius are going to get aced by Hack.
Just when you think that you're in a safe position, Gankstars have now just continuously overestimated their safety. They didn't have the vision, they didn't have the positioning, and that catch out, again, I am still saying Sense Play. He is making and breaking these fights. Like, look at this Impale coming in. Old School, all right, they're saying, okay, we're just going to ignore the gold mine. Go for Old School. Boom, eliminated. Fountain comes out late. Rekt has really just all he has left is portals at this point, and Sense Play follows him. That sets up here for Status. He's going to get taken down by Data just off towards the end of the screen, and another Impale. You bring a lance to the table and you hit all these, no wonder you're going to start winning.
Dada had 18 breaking point stacks at the end of that. That is absolutely huge on a Gwen. You're just going to melt through your opposition. I didn't see Youngju. I don't think he actually had the Broken Myth for that fight, so we'll like to see how quickly he gets that stacked up here as well. And you have to think as well, that was a bit of a misplay by Old School, because he had the reflex block, didn't block the root, and then when the Aces High came down, he blocked it after the stun connected, which is just, it's too little too late. And these are the minute differences between teams that will separate you from winning and losing at Worlds.
Split-second reactions can, win or lose you the team fights, but not getting the Impale, not getting the Aces High, it's going to be game over for you right there. So Old School, as long as he stays a little bit more towards the back, let Status feed people into a bulwark there from Rekt, things could actually start turning their way, but continuously aggressing once more. Hack, they've rebuffed this 2 in a row.
That they have. Old School has now got 3 completed Crystal Power items though.
That's true.
With the Broken Myth and the Eve and the Frostburn, his poke is devastating to Hack if he can land it. The problem's going to be Senseplay now has double kinetic shield, which is incredibly difficult to get through, and Senseplay is very good at positioning in front of his carries and stopping the poke from coming down.
He also has those Ward Treads ready to go for the team here as well. So Ward Treads plus, just the movement speed out of Data plus Skedaddle, you're not running away from these guys.
That's a great right bulwark from Rekt to stop Senseplay with the engage. Didn't use the War Treads though. Youngju takes a bit of poke off towards the top. Impale onto Old School. Root has landed. Dada with the Aces High stuns up Old School again, but Status has taken out Youngju. Old School with the Oblivion won't quite survive. Dada's going to go down as well, as Status gets himself a double. Looking for the triple onto Senseplay. Realizes that Lance is pretty darn tanky. Doesn't want to dive the turret, and they will just turn their attentions to taking that objective.
I gotta say, Status really made that fight right there. Just the elimination on top of Data, it removing him out of the fight. That actually worked out extremely well for Stouties. He has a little bit of armor, has that Aegis there on top of things as well, so not really too much Data could have done except run away, but stunned up against the turret like that, just nowhere to go, and that Zoro Blade really kind of just made that fight happen for him.
Senseplay's delayed his Crucible here as well, which kind of mitigates the ability of his team to disengage fights.
Yeah.
He went for the Treads and he went for double kinetic shield. He's now got a reflex block. I expect Crucible to be the next item, but they lose their third gold mine of the game, and now Hack are just falling behind in gold. They kind of equalized it for a minute. They were only 1,000 gold behind before that last fight. Now it's spread to 3,000 once again, and the Kraken's on the fold.
All right, so there's the flare, and they have all the vision.
Here comes Status into the backline onto Youngju. Death from above, though, will lock Status down, and he's dead. Wreck the new target here for Hack. They're going to try and re-engage onto Old School, but Old School with the drifting dart just melts them away. That was devastating. Gankstars Sirius turned the fight on its head, and Hack just don't understand what happens. Old School gets the triple. Sirius get the ace.
I really gotta say, the Old School and those empowered Verdict and Malice is just doing phenomenal amount of work right there. Just kind of, all of a sudden, you're just dropping dead. And again, with this flare back there, they can see everything. There's no traps or anything at all. So Status, he looks for the kill on top of Youngju, gets kited out, and he does go down for his trouble. But Drifting Dark and everybody bunched up right here. Splash damage everywhere. And all of a sudden, Senseplay is saying, all right, well, this is mission critical. I gotta get out of here. Gotta stop an ace. But Portals, Old School there to cut him off, and Rek can just bring him to bear. So this is the team fighting that we've wanted to see from Gankstars. This is way better than the earlier attempts.
Old School's positioning there was absolutely incredible. Steps in front of Senseplay, straight into the face of Youngju and Dada, and just chucks out those Malice and Verdicts. He says, this is our fold, we're going to take this game off you. Even if you try and come back, you're not going to be able to beat Gankstars Sirius.
And Gankstars are now just, again, trying to draw forth a little bit of that pressure. We have a Kraken now bearing down for them here as well. Well, we made it to the 15 to 20 minute mark, but this is going to be a huge dent in the defenses of Hack. That Kraken, as long as they at least get this choke point turret out of the way, it's totally worth it in my eyes.
Oh, definitely. The choke point turrets are basically worth 2 turrets in my opinion. You need to get into the enemy base. It allows you to spread out a little bit more. Status blocks out the Impale. Old School is caught. Youngju knocked back. Status in the backline trying to take the kill. He's going to go low. Will just about escape. The Kraken's still pushing in here, and Old School still at full HP with that Eve healing him up time and time again. Gankstars Sirius are willing to push into the base here of Hack.
If they get the second turret, then they're going to be setting themselves up for a great end game. They got Lyra Portals back doors. Could be easily a threat here.
Oh, I'd love to see a backdoor on the world stage. Rekt as well would love to see it, but he gets caught out with the Impale. Old School very low on energy. Rekt is dead. Dada trying to trade in, but he's knocked into the wall, and he will get taken out by Status. It's up to Old School and Status to keep this Kraken alive, to keep the push going. The Crystal Turret's going to fall. It could be game forecourt as Hack play the last defenders. Old School looking for the Crystal. They will take down Senseplay. It's all up to Youngju now, but who does he focus? Does he go for Status? Does he go for Old School? Old School's the target, and he's still alive somehow. Eventually taken down. Now it's up to Status. It's a 1v1, and Youngju stops Sirius in their tracks.
Oh man, I'd really like to see Old School be very happy with that push, but he looks actually more disappointed with himself out of everything. But again, the backdoor situation is here. All that team fighting, all that distraction. I was really getting worried for Hack about to drop this game right then and there, but it's still not all roses here for Hack, because they're going to have to start putting down minion scout traps. They're going to have to really just try to get as much farm as they can in the next few moments, because there's going to be a massive push from Sirius coming.
Well, everyone's getting up towards those big items. I want to bring attention to Senseplay, who went for an Aegis of his own over getting a Crucible for the team. So he's relying on his team's reflex blocks, or their Aegises, which Dada has, for their own defense. He's all about using that Githian wall, getting onto Old School. He is their engage tool rather than their disengage tool.
It's an interesting idea behind it. It reminds me of when we started seeing Finn with like triple Aegis, right, at the same time. You're really prioritizing your own safety, but if he's going to go into that Aegis, he has to stay on top of Old School, and that's just not happening a lot.
So we're highlighting here the scout traps in front of that wall for you. The Arcane Passage backdoor is always a possibility, and you can see that Hack are aware of that, which is great. It's something you do need to be aware of, and they've set scout traps there to spot Rekt out. Now the Kraken is up, all the flares, as you say, all over the place. Not going to spot out too many scouts here. Hack do still have that defensive trap line.
If Hack does not defend this game, like they're going to have to try to like race it or get an ace and race or something, but 4 turrets in their way, it's not going to happen. If there's no presence here from Hack, they are going to be dropping this game. There's no doubt about it.
Well, Hack seem to think that they're not going to, because they're not even pressuring for the Kraken. They're going to give that one up to Sirius. And Sirius look to push towards the Crystal. There's no turrets in their way. They may even look for a backdoor here with the Kraken pushing in as well.
Definitely what I was thinking, you know, a two-pronged attack, right? Which one do you defend against? But, you know, we have this jungle shop. We have infusions. We actually have quite a few fusions across the board. Hack is looking for the gank squad. They're looking for the backdoor. Look at the flare, the positioning. They know that there is going to be some kind of, you know, fishy business going on. Nobody's up at the Kraken. It's just going right past the rest of the minions. There's not going to be any more of them, and Hack, they're just not going to find anything.
Hack do just go up towards the Kraken now. They're going to try and take that down before it pushes in, but here comes Sirius. They're looking for the backdoor. They spotted out by a scout trap, and that actually deters their intentions. They might just push in with the Kraken here, waiting for it to go in. Arcane Passage, here's Rekt, his status, his old school, and here is Gankstars Sirius with a basically diabolical backdoor. I couldn't even think of the word, that's how good it was. Gankstars Sirius take the game with the Kraken pushing in as well, and they go 1-0 up over Hack.